is I must say this is our first, because the other one was like of sword play is what I came up with. This is kind of I don't know if we'll do. We may try and do this after every live Boards and Swords, kind of keep us on the air a little bit longer as people are rooming in. But those two don't care. The other two of our co-hosts don't care about RPGs, but we do.
There's something wrong with them.
Well, there's something wrong with all of us.
There is.
I mean, I don't like farming games, so
or westerns.
Yeah, or westerns. So this is our little way of getting in and talking about some of the different things that we've got here. Oh yeah. So today, one of the things we want to talk about. So do we want to talk about this first, or you want to unbox stuff first?
Let's unbox stuff first.
You want to unbox stuff first?
Yes.
So first thing I have
for
us to look at here. This is I got this in from Greater Than Games. So you heard me talk about them earlier in talking about New Bedford. But this is the Sentinel Comics, the role-playing game starter kit.
Starter kit.
Yes, starter kit.
Is my character going to die in the first 2 minutes again?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's still
wrapped up.
So I interviewed the guy, one of the guys, Christopher Bedell. He's one of the guys behind this at Gen Con. Got a sense of the game, but I wanted to try it myself, and also because they have a Kickstarter coming out later this month, or not this month, in the first quarter, springtime-ish, something like that. And I just realized like my face is being covered up by there's chat on there, and my face is being covered up by it.
Ah.
Not exactly the greatest idea.
You should put that over my face. Yeah. Then I can be like Mike Wazowski in Monsters Inc. Had the logo over my face. Hey, look, my arm's in the shot. Yeah.
All right, where did I put the? Oh, there they are.
I don't know where you put them. All right, Sentinel Comics.
All right, still not perfect. I'll have to tweak one of the things and get it. Oh.
So that's kind of. I'm liking the artwork on the front of the book.
Oh
there.
yeah, it's very comic booky.
Yeah.
All right, here, give it back. All right, yeah. So we got the Sentinel Comics starter kit here. Like I was about to say is they're going to be doing a Kickstarter in spring for the full rulebook. But they wanted to get people into the system, and so they've got this. So knife, so good sir. Or do you want to? Would you like to open? I will say. One thing I don't like right off the back is that it's not in a box.
Okay.
And that sounds like a nitpick, but it's more of when I got to put it on a shelf.
Yeah.
I don't like just rent. Like it looks like it's just a bunch of loose stuff, which the benefit is probably I don't know what the retail is $20. So it probably makes it cheaper because it doesn't have the full production of like a box.
Yeah.
But I like behind me you can see there's the beginner box for Pathfinder and the starter set for D&D and the boxes for Edge of the Empire. You can hold everything in that box, you know. Whereas this looks like it's just basically an outer wrapping and then...
Yeah, this isn't even like a college essay folder.
Yeah. Well, it's got a... Well, okay, so this is... I thought this was just going to be paper.
Okay.
So it is kind of like... It's kind of like a folder.
It's a semi-functional GM screen right there at the moment.
Yeah. Actually, it does say GM reference.
Yeah, right there.
So you could use this as a GM. All right, that's not so bad.
All right.
I will take back my comment.
We apologize for our hasty.
So I know there's some. I'm not going to get into some of the mechanics that I did talk about.
There's a bookmark.
Yeah, there's a bookmark. I did learn some of the mechanics, but we're not going to get into them. This is just an unboxing. But the one thing that is cool is hand me some of the. Let me see. Yeah, there you go.
There's half.
The character sheets are no. So what I have here, this is not what I want.
No, you want character booklets.
The character booklets. The character booklets, and actually everything in here are comic books.
Yeah, that's
actually it's got a comic style thing, but the adventures are legit comic books.
Oh yeah.
And you know they make it look like comic books, and this is what they want to do is when they do published adventures, like a session of play or a breakdown is an issue.
Uh-huh.
So you have like an issue, and then you basically like they may bind them all together into like a graphic novel is kind of like your setting. I don't remember if they called it specifically that. But yeah, so they may release these, and it means it should be fairly cheap. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I mean, even a high production comic is like $6 if it's thick and stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas these are more. I'm not gonna say.
Like your annuals are like $6.
Yeah, I don't want to say cheap because it's not. It's well done, but it's not fancy like a comic book with like glossy pages and that sort of thing. It's awesome looking, but it's just right.
Yeah.
Like it's a nice balance of like the artwork, but like this probably doesn't cost a whole lot for the company to make, so they could legit sell this for like
dirt cheap.
Less than $10.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're someone looking to get into a game pretty easily.
I just figured out the numbering system on the books here.
Well, yeah, because it's the adventures.
Yeah. Well, okay, so you've got issue 1 and issue 2. You got to play these in order.
Yeah.
These 3 are labeled 3, 4, 5, all 3 of them. Pick whatever order you want to play those in.
Exactly.
And then this is your finale. This is Tiamat.
Yep. And each one's got like a theme, so you kind of know what you're getting into. Or not know what you're getting into, but you have an idea of what you're getting into when you're doing this. But let's get back to the character. So instead of character sheets, because this is a starter set, so you're not there's no character generation in this set at all. That's going to come in the rule book. So this is just to get you off the ground. So you start off. You've got the full color art on the front of your. I really like that character.
Yeah.
And if you're familiar with the Sentinels of the Multiverse card game, these are all characters that are in that game. So on the back, we've got like a little bit of lore about each of the characters here, and then you've got like I said on the front. But like if you look inside, when you open it up, it is not just a straight up character sheet. It actually walks you through the kind of aspects of the game. So by looking at the book, you learn how the game plays. So like it's like, okay, here's the first basics of the sheet, and then on this side is here's what all those different things are. And then as like, okay, well now I need to level up, or I think these are so this page is like powers and abilities. So this is like base stats, and then this is like your powers and abilities and special items. And then as you move over, you've got like things about leveling up and basic actions. Like these pages here are probably all the same through all the books, but you don't have to pass around hey, how do I need to see the rules because I need to see how something. Everybody's got a small version of what to play in here. Like legit, you can the game master can take the adventure and the gameplay thing, and each person this is legit all they need is this other than dice. You need dice. But as far as to learn the game, everything they need to know is right here inside this comic book, basically. And you've got all your standard tropes like like cold powers, legacies like your Superman type. You got like mysticism. Tachyon is kind of like your Flash ish kind of person. So you got all sorts of different variety and availability here. So what do you think, Philip?
This looks really cool. So I was looking through and see, like this one has an auxiliary sheet. Does that one have an auxiliary sheet?
I think so. Well, no, this is the folder.
Oh, that's the folder.
Yeah.
Oh no, you were holding
I was holding
Absolute
that one.
Zero. Yeah.
Maybe Unity has something special that she needs the auxiliary sheet for.
Yeah. Because like Bunker has an auxiliary sheet. Unity has an auxiliary sheet.
Yeah, because I know Bunker has like different modes that he
Yeah.
gets into. So that was one of the things explained to me. I do feel like before we play I want to get more plays of the Sentinel of the Multiverse game, so I'm a little bit more familiar with the lore.
Yeah.
But this is a colorful. That's because I'm just a big lore guy. This is something. If you're just wanting a fun, fast superhero game, I think that you should really pick this up.
Mm-hmm.
So, yep, that's the Sentinel Comics, a role-playing game from Greater Than Games.
Very nice.
It's the starter kit, guys.
Montage
Characters,
scenes.
scenarios, and gameplay guides. So one thing that in this starter guide that's not in a lot of other starter kits, there's no dice. You saw it here. There's no dice in here.
No dice.
However, chances are you've got access to dice somewhere because what's kind of I think it needs a D6, a D8, and a D4. Yeah, it needs a D10. I think it actually it depends on the.
I got a 10, 6, and a 12.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. 10, 6, and a 12.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that's what you need.
Yeah.
But
So at least a 10, 6, and a 12.
yeah. Okay, so we'll set.
And not to be, there's an app for that.
Yeah. There is. Yeah, there's that. You could just download an app. There's also dice rollers on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
So next thing, I've had this one for a little while, but I've been kind of intimidated by this. So Steve Jackson Games sent me. This was a Kickstarter they ran earlier in the year. So have you ever heard of GURPS?
Yeah. Nope. Never heard of GURPS.
So GURPS has been around forever. It's an acronym. It stands for, I think it's, I want to say it's Generic Universal Role-Playing System. That's what GURPS stands for. But it's basically so that it was one of the first generic systems that you could play this in no matter what kind of setting. But it's also one of the most, I was intimidated by it because it's supposedly, it's what?
Your generic role-playing system for
I
any
know.
setting.
I know, but I'm saying, like, we'll get to Genesis in a second. But what I was saying
GURPS
is...
was there first.
I mean, we're talking like 70s, 80s. Yeah. Has been around. But recently they kickstarted last springtime, summer last year to reboot the game and to kind of relaunch it to people, and also probably to see if there was even interest in it. The Dungeon Fantasy role-playing game, which is powered by GURPS. So it uses the GURPS system, but it allows you to play like your standard D&D type game, but in the GURPS system. However, like I said, GURPS has got a history of being a little bit more intensive, like one of those like uberly complicated games. So I've been that's where it's been kind of hesitant to get into it. And also it's a matter of finding the right players that are going to be willing to play. Because, we also have a lot of people that enjoy more narrative style games. And I feel like this is not going to be. But I'm talking, I know nothing about GURPS. I've never played GURPS. So don't hate me. This is all based on what I've heard about it. So do not go purely on that opinion as well. So unlike Sentinel Comics, where I had an understanding about things, this we're going purely off of, we're going to unbox and we're going to see what's inside.
Yeah. And I have heard of GURPS through that movie.
What movie?
Of Dice and Men.
Oh.
That's what the two kids are playing in the beginning of the movie.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you could play, because it was probably some version of this.
Yeah.
All right, so what have we got here? So
We've got a box.
Set that up there.
We're going to put this in the most convenient place. There we go. All
so you don't have to see Philip's head.
That's right.
We got a map.
I'm the map.
We have map 2. I'm not going to unfold it, but it's basically your hex.
We got a hex map.
Hex map. It looks like there's another map here. Although they put map 2 above map 1. I feel like map 1 should go first.
Should put on top, yeah.
Yeah. So then you got another map here. I'm not gonna unfold this, but the artwork looks pretty cool on the maps, and it's some heavy paper. It's not a very cheap map.
That's a
It's pretty stick. There, it's gonna last you a while.
Thick paper.
Standees. We got standees.
All right, cardboard punch outs.
Yep, cardboard punch outs. We got monsters over here.
Ooh.
Corpse golems. Zombies. There's actually multiple things.
That's 2 pages.
Demon from Between the Stars is this looking like ghoul kind of shape here. I don't know how much you're gonna be able to see. We got little small critters. Well, there's like this like almost cat looking rat. These almost look like Pokemon. Is what they look like down here on the bottom here, or down in this middle section.
That's what these rock mites look like.
Yeah.
They're the.
There's another demon. There's a couple of demon from Between the Stars. Rat Man. We got some spiders. We got different kinds of colored spiders.
Oh yeah.
All your stereotyp. So far, what I'm gathering for this is your stereotypical dungeon fantasy game, which
Red Warrior needs food badly.
Yeah, like Gauntlet. I mean, the name on the box is Dungeon Fantasy. It looks like it tells you. Oh my God. So
that's a book.
This is a book. So I don't know what the MSRP is. You want to look that up for me real quick?
I can look that up
while I'm kind of narrating here. You might try Amazon first because I don't know where it is available. Gotcha. Otherwise, so we've got our adventure book, and I legit mean book. Like we were talking about that. I could legit take this and put it on the shelf just by itself because it is a soft-backed book. Looks like about 128 pages. Adventure. Oh, this is Adventurers. I thought this was the Adventures. No, this is probably everything you need to make Adventurers. So yeah, because it's got customizing. We got feats. We got like knights and scout, swashbucklers, wizards, and you got different races.
Thief's Holy Warrior, Cat Girl, Gnome.
And then you got your lists of skills.
Cat Boy.
So this is like your player's handbook right here. And then on the back, it's got a short list summary thing. This is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. You got DX, which I'm guessing is dexterity-based skills, IQ, so maybe intelligence-based skills, and there's just a lot of minutia. It seems like with this game.
As of January 10th at 8:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it's $69.99 plus free shipping, and there's only one left. You got to order it right now.
Okay, so $70. That's the Amazon price.
That's the Amazon price.
Okay, so retail maybe like 80, maybe. So okay, so definitely an investment, but I will say, overall, so far what I've seen, it's pretty solid production. You're definitely getting your money's worth, but it's definitely going to be the kind of thing that you're gonna. This is a, hey, what's that GURPS game like? Not, hey, what's that game? I'm curious to. That game looks like fun. It's not. This is not going to be a. I saw this on the shelf and it looked like fun. This is a. I want to try GURPS. I need a way to get into GURPS. Ta-da!
Boom. There you go.
But it's okay. So I will pass you the Adventurer's book for you to look through.
Oh, so heavy.
All right, and then we've got another nice, pretty thick book. I will say though, I know it kind of goes with the theme of, it harkens me back to old school D&D, but this text font just seems so 90s to me.
Yeah.
Like 70s, 80s, 90s to me. Like, actually, I won't say 90s. This seems so 80s to me. Like, this just screams old to me. And I don't know. I mean, if you're trying to get that feel, sure. So also we've got, okay, so this is your actual exploits. So this is all your adventure stuff. We got all your different, it looks like there's, falling damage is heavy. Hope you don't fall 100 plus yards because it's 9 dice plus 1.
Ooh.
I don't know what kind of die, but that's probably pretty nasty.
Yeah.
We got a 102-page guide to creating exploits. Now, is this actual teaching you? Okay, so this is. All right, so this is not. Okay. This is not adventures like an adventure for you to run. This is your DMG, basically.
Okay.
This
gotcha.
is okay. So this is that. Here's a way to think about this. This is not a beginner's kit, from what I'm gathering here. This is just what you need. These are the books. It would be like if the starter, quote unquote, starter set. And to be honest, it doesn't say beginner's box anywhere on the box. It just says this is the Dungeon Fantasy role playing game. So I assumed it was going to be more of a beginner box, but this looks like, no, this is, if we took the 3 books, made them softbound and put them in a box, like a board game-ish box, that's the kind of feel I'm getting here. But okay, we got our exploits. So this is like how to do game mastering, that sort of thing. I'm going to slide that over to you.
D6s.
D6s, okay. And then we have, oh my gosh, there's still, I'm not even halfway into this box.
Okay. And
so even because there's, okay, I'm about to have a major beef here.
You're about to have a major beef here?
I'm about to have a major beef here.
Okay. I was just reading through real quick. I found the dice section. Because they only use D6s, they took the 6 off of all the Ds. That way, because you're not going to need any other dice. So
you're only needing D6s.
You're only needing D6s.
All right. Then we got a whole book of spells.
All right.
Yep. Got to have this. And I actually like this when it's, I like it when it's separate from, like, in a player's handbook where it's, I need this for, you could be looking up how to make your character, and I could be looking up what spells I want.
Yeah, which version of Fireball do I want to throw at you?
I'm trying to decide what spells I'm going to have for the day, but you need to figure out, or you have a question about falling damage or whatever. They're 2 separate places so that we could pass these around. So again, I'm gonna say again the artwork is also very in that old school. If you're more of an old school D&D player, this is probably up your alley. So I'm getting that same vibe even through the artwork. Here, let's do a random spell.
Okay.
Oh, no, never mind. I went too far. Here. Lend language. Subject temporarily gains one language you know. Or persuasion. Or we got hide emotion. Gift of tongues.
Oh, lend language.
Dispel possession.
Ooh, that's...
There we go. Borrow skill. Hey, you're good at lockpicking. Whoop. All right. Control person.
Ooh.
All right. Like
hey, you're good at lockpicking.
Hey, pick this lock for me. And then, of course, what wouldn't be complete? Looks like there's... So then we've got... Monsters. Here's your monster
I'm noticing
manual.
the books are getting progressively smaller.
They are getting progressively smaller. Yeah, we've gone from actual spine to more pamphlet or was this magazine style?
Yeah, that's your...
This is more magazine size. Yeah. So this one is only 64 pages.
So
but it looks like it's got
128, 112, 80, 64.
Yeah, this looks like it's also got ways of you making your own monsters.
Ooh.
Because there's a generic template on the back for monsters. I don't know how well it's going to show
power
up.
armor.
Yep. So let's see, what else have we got here? The monster's point of view. It's okay. This artwork's looking a little better. There's some there's like the artwork on the inside. It's a very different style, but I actually prefer this style. And in fact, if this game would be, I think it would be even cooler if they took this style of artwork. It's a little bit more cartoony.
I was gonna say it's Steve Jackson Games. That artwork's a little munchkin-y.
Yeah, it is very munchkin-y. I feel like this game would have done a lot, or not do a lot better, but I would be more interested in it if it had this kind of munchkin theme throughout all of it. But I guess they're wanting it to be taken more seriously.
Yeah.
And this does convey a very serious tone. But like, and this is something I've seen when you look at some of the old, this is some of the older books for GURPS, is that they just unappealing when it comes to graphic design. Like, sure, like grab me anything. Grab me that Harlem Unbound book right next to the Cipher System Rulebook. Like, this is an independent book, and I just got this in through a Kickstarter. Like, it's a unique style, but it's pretty freaking sweet looking. So, whereas this just looks so generic and bland.
I don't ever want to fight one of those.
I do. I want to make you fight one of those. All right, you can put that back now.
Can Nomeo fight one of those?
Sure.
All right.
In fact, we'll take that monster and we'll put it in this game. So I am still curious about how GURPS plays. So we may do it like as a one-off on a stream sometime.
Yeah.
Just to learn it. So there's your monster.
Ooh.
All right, and then you have, so this is the actual sample dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
So the other book was about how you can make your own dungeons. This is you can get started just by running this. So this is the I Smell a Rat, which is what the maps are for. I'm assuming these monsters are in some shape or fashion inside this book. So yeah, it's Dungeon I Smell a Rat. This one's the smallest book that's in here. And then it's 24. It's only 24 pages, but it also so it gives you it says chapter 4 of the adventure. Okay, so this is options on how you can do. Okay, now the adventure's over. Where do you go from here?
Okay.
So that's kind of good. It will teach you how to play a game, and then refer to the exploit books.
Yep.
All right.
Exploit and monster manual to add stuff in.
All right, now we're gonna get to the beef.
All right.
Grab all those books.
Grabbing all the books.
All right. So this is the thickness of the box.
All right. Yep. There we go.
Set all the books that I've shown so far in front of the box.
Okay. We've shown off these books.
Yep.
And then we've shown off these two things as well.
Yep.
Were they sitting right on top?
Yeah, whatever.
Okay, gotcha.
All right. So you would think there's still, that's what, like half the box maybe?
That's half the box, man. There's stuff in there.
You want to know what else is in here? All right. There is a pack of dice.
All right.
3 dice.
Hey.
And then we did get some standees.
Oh, cool.
You want to know what the other cool thing that's in here?
Empty space.
All right.
Oh, man.
It's just cardboard.
Come on, guys.
It's just cardboard.
Got him!
That's kind of funny because it's appropriate, and I didn't mean to hit that key. I just threw it over there, and it hit the keyboard, which hit the soundboard.
Oh, that's awesome.
But that was appropriate. That's it. It's just cardboard.
Come on, guys.
How much money, extra money, did you spend to double the size of the box? All right. Sure, it probably means that the standees will probably be standing up when, you could put your minis on standees, and they would all still fit in here. But how much extra money did it take?
Got him!
I must be just hovering over that clip. But anyways, how much extra money did you spend on this cardboard and for this thick? Because this is a nicely designed box. How much extra money did it cost to get that thick? Would this box be? Could we have saved $10 if this box was half as thick?
I would think so. I mean, you could all the ads on the side of the box, the inside box, like everything, you could have made them smaller.
Yeah.
It's made the font a little small. This all could have been shrunk down.
Yeah. Yes. There's no reason. There's no reason this couldn't have been that size of that Pathfinder beginner's box over there.
Yeah.
It's maybe like half an inch smaller than this box here, which is this giant. Like when you open this box, you feel like you're going to get this giant, a lot of stuff in here. Which you do get a lot of stuff in the books, but at the same time, that's it. Like it's basically these books are kind of all what you're paying for, and then 3 dice.
Three dice, yeah.
For as much space that's in here now,
So I'm having an issue with the dice.
Okay.
The fancy Steve Jackson Games symbol is on the 1.
Okay, sure. That's not a big deal. But this goes to the Chris Renshaw knows nothing about business and how much things actually cost.
Okay.
We're gonna caveat that.
Yeah, it is.
I feel like, what if we charged $100 even, and you got actual miniatures in the game?
Ooh.
Instead of these standees. Sure, the miniatures might not be the best quality.
Right.
But then I feel like all of this would be worth it.
Yeah.
Like this would be like, this is an awesome thing to try out. Whereas I feel like you got to really be, especially at the what was it, 70 on Amazon? And we were guessing maybe an $80 MSRP.
Yep.
You got to really be wanting to try this out for that amount of money. Like, and given the stuff that's, like, this is not something you're going to wait in, purchase off the shelf, take home. This is you're either a fan of GURPS and you want this updated version, which I don't know if it's if it's updated or anything. But I feel like if you're someone, Joe Schmo off the street, maybe has played some D&D, you walk into a store, see this on the shelf, this is not going to jump off the shelf and into your quote-unquote cart. Especially at the price point, and especially if you watched anyone watching a video, this kind of unboxing, like someone might, because they'd be like, man, that's a huge box, and it feels like it's got some heft into it.
Yeah.
But then if you took it home or something, you'd be like, oh, that's it? I have buyer's remorse now. Like, honestly, I think we're getting rid of all this.
All that cardboard.
That's going away. This is bogus. We're getting rid of that. All right, then we're gonna put our maps down on the bottom.
There we go.
All right.
How many standees do you get?
There's a lot of standees.
Okay. Was it like 10, 12?
Just base estimate of 10.
Okay, gotcha.
Now, granted, it's not gonna move around a whole lot, but now that the stuff's in there. But
there are 4 different demons from Beyond the Stars on this enemy sheet.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool, but I don't know. We are still going to try this at some point.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm not downplaying. The game may still be fun, but my initial impression of this is not worth the money that you would spend on it. For the amount of, $70. What can we buy game-wise for $70?
$70.
$70. $70, I could get the D&D starter set, plus the Pathfinder starter set, and almost have enough money to get an Edge of Empire starter set.
Okay.
And each one of those has better artwork than what's in here. This has less, or this has more stuff. So like each one of those beginner's boxes, after you play the adventure that's in the box, you're kind of done.
Yes.
So that is the bonus here, is the replayability of this box compared to those is a lot higher because you've got basically the whole system, whereas those are giving you a portion.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I like that strategy better.
Give you a portion.
Give me an entrance.
Yeah.
I feel like the way that they've got the GURPS books, this should have been an entry into the system, and it's not. This is just the full system in a box set with some cardboard standees.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit of a downplay, but they're putting it in a board game, and it is at a board game price. Like
It's
people,
a board game price.
board gamers not going to shrug. $80 is like, okay. But you got to think,
That was a
okay,
tendency.
so actually, you know what's a good comparison? This box here, we're guessing MSRP $80.
Yes. All right, so I'm assuming Chris is going to run to the shelf and grab an $80 game. That's an $80 game.
That's not an $80 game. That's
not
a
an
$100 MSRP game.
Okay, it's a $100 game.
But that is $100 that of fun. This so not only and
this box is full.
that box is mostly full. Granted, most of the money you're spending on miniatures, whereas most of the money here you're spending on books.
Yeah.
I removed the insert. That's why it's.
I mean, like you've removed the insert and like
I've
you've punched out all
punched
the
out,
stuff.
yeah.
So, but yeah, this was
Yeah. So granted, the money is being put in different places. The money in this is being spent on just books, whereas this is on all miniatures. But I feel
there was very little extra space in this box when you bought it.
Yeah. So, but that's like if you're looking at a board gamer, this is what a board gamer's expecting for like around $100. This is not.
No.
So, if you're wanting, I feel like this is appeasing your audience. This is not growing your audience. Because if you're trying to market to a board gamer, this is what they're wanting to see for that amount of money. So. All right, speaking of FFG.
FFG. And also, speaking of a generic universal role-playing system.
And also, I mean, so one final note, just a final note. I like again, GURPS could be a ton of fun. I have no experience with it, so it could be that I'm just saying this is not this does not change my opinion on whether I want to try it or not. Like as in this did not motivate me to say, "Ooh, I need to get this to the table next week to play."
Right.
This is just like when I get some free time, I'll look into this'll go to the bottom of the shelf and all the other games will get looked at beforehand. But one game that we do know how to play,
yes,
and one game that we are going to talk about is the Genesys Core Rulebook.
Yes.
So inside here, this is basically, and the reason we know how to play is we've actually never run a Genesys game.
Nope.
But we have played Star Wars, and it's fundamentally the same system. And we knew this ahead of time.
Yes, we did.
That's why I gave this book to Philip like 2 days ago, and I was like, you don't need to worry about the mechanics because it's basically Star Wars.
It's 100%. They have changed the shape of the symbols,
Right.
but the symbols are all the same. You
I
have dice.
I have the dice.
You have dice. If anyone out there has played any Star Wars and you have Star Wars dice, you don't need new dice.
You don't need to buy the Genesys dice. The reason that they did make
Unless you're a completionist.
because the Genesys dice or the Star Wars dice have Star Wars symbols on them, and that's why. Whereas these are the same colors, same probabilities, but they're
and you already rolled a despair.
More generic, and apparently I'm terrible. So
did you get? Hey, you rolled a triumph and a despair, so they
Nice.
cancel each other out. You're good to go.
All right, throw that away. But yeah, so we went through. We've looked at it, and again, this is basically taking. It's like, okay, you love the narrative dice system from Star Wars, or if you've heard about it, you're like, oh, that sounds like a cool idea, but I don't like Star Wars. That's where this comes in.
Yes.
So this is now we can take that system, strip Star Wars off of it, and you can use the system to run whatever game you want. And we've seen this before. Cypher did the same thing where they made Numenera, and then it's like now we got Cypher system, and you can run it in whatever game you want. So here we go. First thing I'm going to say off the bat, and this is and I'm saying this because of the cover. There's a theme in the artwork. So I'm going to caveat this is Fantasy Flight has some amazing artists on staff.
Yes, they do.
Their products are amazing in artwork. Like, especially when it comes to, we'll say, like Arkham Horror or L5R. Like, when you're talking about their games, this is some incredible artwork. All right? I felt like this let me down artwork-wise. Because, sure, at the end of the book, which we'll get into, they talk about they have suggestions for settings. And they license back to some of their properties.
Yes.
And they have some of that artwork in here. But throughout the rest of this book, they kind of take the same tone that you see here on the cover, which is this. And I know why they did it, because they're talking about you're building up your campaign. But it's a very blueprinty kind of, where you're seeing the world being drawn and built in. Like there's like all this like those blueprint lines in the background,
like wireframe stuff.
The wireframe kind of stuff, and then you're seeing like rough sketches in the end, and then being full drawn in. I don't like it. I'm not a fan. Like I'm like you have some you show me some really vivid artwork. Like if I never had played Star Wars, was not interested in had never really played RPGs, like was interested in playing an RPG. But saw this on the shelf next. All right,
next to like the Player's Handbook.
No, we're gonna go generic to generic.
Okay, generic to generic. All right, I gotcha.
All right, so here.
Too many wires.
Too many wires. I should have pulled all this stuff beforehand, but I'm thinking about these things now.
All right. So give me a book.
So we know nothing. So we know that. So we got book number 1 there.
Genesis.
And we're judging a book by a cover because that's what we do. And
that's right.
When we have money. And then we've got this. So.
Yeah.
Like, what you see what I'm saying? Like. This also, both of these are giving off the thing that you can build a world from scratch. This takes the idea of we're going to showcase all the various possibilities on the front. And what I'm looking here is I got the Cypher System Core Rulebook here. But whereas this, yes, you've got to, I get it. It's thematic, but it's kind of blah. I'm getting ranty.
Getting ranty. One of the artists at Fantasy Flight is going to watch this video. Hey, I put a lot of work into that, man.
Well, I'm saying like especially like down towards the bottom where you see like the filled in world. This is amazing.
Yeah.
But I don't
get out toward the edges.
And I'm sure this is a personal opinion where it's just I'm not a fan of it. Somebody probably was like, "Oh yeah, that's really cool. You're like constructing your world from scratch."
And it puts the point across.
It puts the point across, but I just say like I want to see that FFG art.
Yeah.
Like it does make me like
I want to see what's going on with that blimp right up there in the top, man.
Yeah. But you know what? They've already announced one source book for this. The what's it called? The Tyrannoth, the setting that like Rune Wars is in.
Okay.
They've already announced that's going to be the first source book.
All right.
I can't wait for that book purely because I feel like there you're going to get the artwork, and that's going to be amazing on its own. Like. Fantasy Flight's put out other books like this that have done this sort of stuff. Like they did a whole World of Android book that was nothing but artwork. So like that was what set my expectations a little high on the artwork because they did those big exposés of like there's the investigators of Arkham Horror, which I've not read the book, but I want the book just because the cover looks like phenomenal because it's got this awesome Arkham Horror artwork. And I'm talking about the cover a lot, but let's I mean like you get in here's your introduction. If you're looking at the cameras, you can't really see much besides the blue lines, and that's what I'm saying. Like it's nothing's popping off the page here. It's just like some sketch. You see a bunch of sketch lines of a table and sort of thing, and you see like some rough sketches. Like I said, it's not until let's see where are we at. Like, yeah, once you start getting into the examples of the genres that you can run,
and the
then you start getting into the full color, highly detailed artwork that you come to expect. And this is amazing. This is what stuff like this is where I wanted to see in the entire book. I wanted an entire book of this. and that's not what I got. So I'm just gonna say that is the only peeve I have with this book.
Because when I was flipping through it, there's a section called creating items.
Yeah.
And the picture above the section is like a deconstructed blueprint of a gun.
Yep.
And that 100% makes sense to put that picture right above a title section called creating an item.
Right. But having said all of that, does it affect my opinion at all on whether you should buy this book?
No.
Hell no.
No, buy the book.
Hell no, you should buy this. You should buy this book. Because given all that, the Star Wars system is awesome.
Yes.
And this does exactly what I mean, there's not a lot that we can go into on because really we don't if you know about the mechanics at all, so the basic mechanics is you make a dice pool depending on your situation. You have good dice, you have bad dice depending on how the difficulty is. Mm-hmm. You roll, and then some good dice you'll generate symbols that cancel each other out. And if you have more success than you have failures, then you've won. But you may also get narrative items. You have I don't know what the term is in here.
They still call them advantage and threat. So you can succeed with threat. You can fail with advantage.
Okay. Yeah. So it can alter, the great part about the Star Wars system is you pick the lock, you succeeded. But
you set off every alarm in the building.
Not every alarm, but you set off alarm. Or as you finish it, a guard walks around the corner and sees you do it.
Yep.
Or maybe in the other sense, you could do a failure with an advantage of you set off every alarm or in the building, but let's see what would be an advantage there.
The advantage is you set off every alarm in the building. They don't know where you are.
Exactly. Yeah, there you go. Or the advantage could be that when the alarms got set off, the guard that was heading your way got distracted and ran back to go talk to his boss or whatever. Yeah. That sort of thing. So that's what I like and enjoy about this system. And now you have the tools to do that. And I wasn't what I was expecting, because Star Wars, the way they do character construction, it's very straightforward. Mm-hmm. On you pick one of these types, and then there's a talent tree of use your
pre-associated with that
type. This doesn't do that, which that's okay. Mm-hmm. I understand it because it's a generic system. It's trying to generalize a lot of things. So instead, it's more of, here's a whole bunch of talent, like level 1 talents. Pick from something in there. You need something in there before you get to level 2 talents. And they even have, I don't know if you saw this or not. Did you look at the character sheets? They have a talent pyramid where it's, okay, you got to have 2 level 1 talents before you can get a level 2 talent. Mm-hmm. You got to have 3 level 1 talents, 2 level 2 talents before you can get a level 3 talent. And you just work your way down. So you can't get the high stuff until you've gotten a lot of other talents.
And even reading through, they said the tier 5 talents mm-hmm. are infinitesimally better than a tier 4 talent. You might want to beef up your tier 4 talent before you even think about being a tier 5 talent.
Right.
I mean, and that was the way in Star Wars too. I mean, if you were really heavy into min-maxing, like our other friend is, it was, okay, I need to find the way to beef up my characteristics, like my strength, my dexterity, all that stuff. So that skill's way down here. Let me backtrack the tree, and I got to buy down there.
Yep, exactly. So that was kind of cool. There is the way, because they have the archetype, and then they have your class or your occupation, I think is what mm-hmm. they call it. The way they split that up was kind of weird, I thought. It makes, but it's mainly because if you play human, you play one of 3 types, which is the wealthy person, the athletic person.
You had your average human, your laborer, and your intellectual.
And then after that, it was, or you play this alien or robot or whatever. That seemed mm-hmm. weird to me.
They because the way the robots, those were setting specific.
Right, but I'm saying I pick these different types of humans, but if I want to play anything else other than human, it's kind of single option.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like if you're going to do the single option, then it should just be human and maybe you work in some of those differences between different types of humans in your occupations or something.
That could be.
Not a game changer or it's just it was weird.
And they and I personally have never fully looked through a
right.
I mean, I've looked through the D&D player's handbook. I haven't looked through a Star Wars player's handbook at all or core rulebook to figure out this here. It gave guidelines, or we figured they're more just guidelines for creating a race, basically.
There are rules for it in Star Wars.
Like, there are rules for creating an own race?
Ish.
Or, okay. Because I know the Star Wars universe has races from A to Z.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's not even a lie. There are A to Z. Every letter is taken care of in Star Wars. But, I mean, this right here, it had rules for... so, like, you're... in one of our Star Wars campaigns, I play a... Oh my God! What do I play? What do I play?
I don't know what you play.
I don't know. I'm like a 2-foot tall bat with no wings.
Nice.
I forget what the name of the character is. But I have I take away 2 black die anytime I do a perception roll based on environmental factors. So I start off with a little less experience than the rest of the characters, but I have a sweet ability to make up for that little less experience. And they're telling you, like, if you're gonna give a character this plus, you take away some experience. If you're going to give a character this negative, you better add some experience in there to help them make up for it.
So we've rambled on a lot about this, but the basic sense is chances are if you've played the Star Wars system, you've already had this on your list.
Yeah.
So we didn't really need to sell it to you.
Nope.
If you're curious about, I mean, this thing almost sells itself.
It does.
Because
it really does.
if you like Star Wars, you're going to want this. If you didn't want Star Wars because of the theme, then obviously you would want this.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, this is I feel like this is a system that every gamer should play. And now FFG's gotten rid of the excuse, but I don't like Star Wars.
Yeah.
So the narrative dice system is something I feel like every gamer should at least try. It may or may not be your thing.
It may not. I mean,
I'm not going to say it's for everybody, but I feel like it's a unique enough system where it's not we're just rolling D20s and adding numbers to it. You know, like the difference between Pathfinder and D&D. You know, it's not. It is a unique enough system that everybody should try it. And like I said, now you can't use the argument, I don't like Star Wars.
Yeah.
So, definitely 2 thumbs up here on this end.
Oh, definitely 2. The one change I noticed with the narrative dice system, if you're looking at a dice pool, Star Wars guys, there's no force die.
Well, that's of course because there's no
like in force in the you could have it in there, but then you should just play Star Wars anyway.
Oh, now that you've said that, you reminded me of another weird quirk I found, and that is the magic system. I don't know if you had enough to read the individual magic system.
I didn't.
But basically, and I gotta refresh here. It was the way that they made it seem like magic was supposed to be like a rare thing, and it actually hurts you when you use, or has the potential to hurt you when you. I gotta look this up.
So you're a sorcerer with wild magic. Okay, so while you're looking that up, the Star Wars players, you'll know that you roll at the beginning of your game session. You roll your force die, and that's where you get your light side, dark side points. Here, they still have the destiny points. I honestly forget what they're called in the book, but it's one GM point and then 1 player point for every player.
Yeah.
To make your
that's right. There's not a roll like there is in Star Wars. Okay, here it is. This is what I was looking up. When your character casts a spell that requires a check, whether or not the check succeeds, they suffer 2 strain after resolving the check.
Oh.
So, like, magic has an impact on your character no matter how you use it.
It has a physical... Okay, that... I can see that.
I mean, I know why it's there,
Mm-hmm.
because it's to keep you from going, magic, 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 magic. I'm just going to, like, do magic everywhere. I'm going to do magic to lift that sandwich and bring it to me because I'm hungry. Like, that's what it's there for, but it seemed a little weird. Because I hate games where you play a magic character and the game tries to do everything to keep you from doing magic.
Yeah.
Like, Pathfinder doesn't do this, but D&D 3 and 3.5 did it, where, like, at low levels, you don't have enough spells. Like, you only have a couple spells. So if you're a wizard, a level 1 wizard, most of the time you're actually using a quarterstaff and hitting people. And I'm like, I'm not a melee character. I wanted to play a magic character. Yeah, but you only have 3 spells that you're going to have this entire day. And after that, you got nothing.
And you're going to waste them all on me because the goblin shot me.
Yeah. Or no, it's like, no, I'm going to save them for the boss. I'm just going to, like, say a prayer for you and deuces. I'm gone.
Yeah, he's dead.
Yep.
He's dead, Jim.
We poked him. He was dead. So there you go. Genesys.
Very good.
From Fantasy Flight Games. It's
we already have plans for this book.
We already have plans for this book. Yeah. This is worth every dollar that you spend on it. And I think it retails for $60. Does not say on the back.
Not on there.
Actually, you know what? I think it actually only retails for $40. I think I remember seeing this somewhere.
That seems about.
So at $40, this is a steal.
Oh yeah,
because that's the MSRP, which means you could probably get this for like $35.
What are the dice rolling at? Like $10 for the pack?
I think
10, maybe 12.
I know the Star Wars ones would run about 15. So it would not surprise me if the Genesys ones are also that much.
Okay, yeah.
So, but I will say, but again, if you have Star Wars dice, you don't need these.
Nope.
There's also the Star Wars dice app, which I think is only $5.
$5 on whatever
again,
app store
you're going to be able. You could use. I don't know if they're going to make a Genesys app. They might, but even if they don't, you can. Or if you already have the Star Wars app for X-Wing or the other, because all their games work on it. You can use those, even though you know how much I hate dice roller apps.
He does hate dice roller apps.
So, but like, I'm just gonna throw these in with. I have a bag full of Star Wars dice. I'm just gonna throw them in there because I see no reason to delineate them. So,
and my gut reaction was like, oh no, they changed the advantage symbol. But now I'm looking at it and it's just upside down.
Yeah,
is all it is. The advantage symbol on the Star Wars dice is it's the Jedi Order without the lightsaber.
And
those
actually,
wings.
the best way to buy these dice, not necessarily, I'm not talking Genesys, but these style of narrative dice is the starter boxes for Star Wars. Because like this box, or like I said, I think it's like $15 for this pack, but it's like $20 for that beginner's game, and you're getting a whole game, and it comes with this whole set of dice.
Comes with a whole set of dice.
So you're paying like five-ish more, and you're getting a whole game system thing.
Whole shebang.
Yeah. So you're getting characters, a short adventure, everything. So that's one of those things where it's like, if I need an extra set, I'm like, well, I don't have the Force and Destiny beginner's game,
there you
go. Might as well. So there we go.
Play with the shorts.
And we normally, this is where in future shows, we're going to have, twitch.tv/OCDcast. Join us at the end. So anytime we do Boards and Swords, which follow us on Facebook, you can, we make events, and I'm not going to make an event specifically for this because it's going to be the same time whenever we do Boards and Swords. We're going to shoo.
Yeah. Colin and Cindy are going to run away.
We're going to shoo the boards away, and then the swords are going to play. Hence the name.
There we go.
So that's, and my hope is that if anyone has questions, like, how do I get into an RP? Like, I've talked about this in other videos, but if you want my current up-to-date thoughts on things, and if you want specific things tailored to your situation, you can always talk to me on Facebook. I'm at Chris the Prof. But now you can, like, directly interact with me and get instantaneous or near instantaneous feedback.
Yeah.
And, you can ask me specific, like, if you have a specific question, you can leave a comment below this video whenever, because I'm going to post it over to YouTube also. But if you show up on a thing and we look at the starter kit and be like, oh, how many, or what about, what's the difference between X character or Y character? I will tell you straight away and give you an answer straight to your face. So there you go. That's what we want to do here. We want to be able to show off some cool products. We want to unbox some stuff to show you some cool things that are coming up. We want to review, at least I think we're going to try and review a book of some kind each show, and then we want to roll into a couple questions. So there you go. Thanks for watching. Until next time, like I said, you can follow us on Twitter, facebook.com/OCDcast. But I'm Chris Renshaw.
I'm Phil Herbig.
And you've been watching Swordplay.
Those cancel out.
So how did our skill check go for this game?
Let's
for
see.
the- for
Our
this session?
skill check. All right. So
Our skill check for this
these are blanks. That's okay. This is a blank. That's okay too. These two.
This is the one sense that a dice roller app does come in handy because
It auto cancels as long as you
everything.
go through the settings and check that box.
Oh, okay.
Whenever it updates,
That
it
is the
unchecks it.
one benefit for like when I do the online Roll20 dice roller and the dice roller app. That is a giant benefit.
Okay, so I've got
Not
one,
worth
2, 3.
giving up rolling
1,
dice.
2,
though.
3. We failed with 4 advantage.
All right. So we failed that nobody watched this video.
Yep.
But our advantage is that we got to read a really cool book and we got to show off some cool dice.
We did. There we go. That's how it works. And I'm gonna spend 2 advantage to regain some strain.
Okay. That was one of the disadvantages.
That was a wound. There were no disadvantages.
GM intrusion. Wait, wrong game.
Wrong game. Wrong game. Flip a destiny point.